Leaders just released the results of a study the Department of Health conducted on baby formula. They say harmful metals and chemicals were found in several products that are sold under popular brand names. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is in the newsroom to explain some of the findings and what the medical community has to say. Evan.
Well, the findings are being displayed right now. We just learned on the state website just several minutes ago. They were uploaded, and they do show that some formulas do have a presence of chemicals that could be harmful if consumed in certain amounts. But pediatricians are responding, saying that they need to see much more detail before parents know whether they should change how to feed their children. The printout the Surgeon General held up is from this new state website that lays out 24 baby formulas and shows whether certain chemicals exceed federal guidelines.
What we just want is basically transparency and the truth, and we want people to be able to make the best decision for them. From Enfamil to Similac to brands in between, the state's chart shows with a red dot whether arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, or pesticides were found at levels that are above federal recommended guidelines. The amounts themselves were not disclosed, but 16 of the 24 they tested had too much of one thing or another.
Parents should be able to trust that the products that they bring home are safe. They should not have to wonder whether the food that they are consuming or they're giving to their children could be quietly impacting their health over time.
Mercury was found in all 16 of the samples that tested positive, with 3 formulas showing 3 or more undesirable results. The American Academy of Pediatrics says while this sounds alarming on the surface, the study itself must be examined before the wider community can make decisions.
We have to have more details. If the report is true, it's really concerning. But my message to parents is don't panic.
Dr. Rana Alyssa has examined tens of thousands of children and says she never found one who had developed something chronic that could be traced to the formula they drank.
We have these heavy metals. We're surrounded by them. They are in the air we breathe. They're in the soil, especially baby formulas. They're very well regulated.
Florida Surgeon General says the state-funded study does not draw conclusions about risk, nor is there a connection yet to which medical conditions could develop.
It's one of these things where science and judgment kind of have to meet and find some balance.
In response to other similar tests done in December by Consumer Reports, the companies that make baby formulas told them that they have multiple quality controls to satisfy all regulatory requirements. We are waiting on responses from the companies themselves in terms of this particular study and this particular story. Now, the Department of Health just told us that the results of the study itself have been posted on their website, so we're going to link to that on our website, fox13news.com. Haley.
Evan Axelbank reporting tonight. Evan, thank you.